Live, going live. Trying to figure this thing out. I think I finally got it. Now I just gotta set up a time to get with everybody. We can do a little question and answer. We can just shoot some topics around, philosophize, just see what it do. I think I finally got it figured out. Now all we gotta do is pick a time to get on here and get it rolling, get it rolling, get it rolling. Um, my stocks are doing pretty well for me. It's been real good to me in the game. I want your stocks to be good to you in the game. So we're gonna talk about it. We definitely gonna talk about it. Um, we talked about starting a portfolio. I think everybody knows how to set up a brokerage account at this time. Everybody knows how to set up a brokerage account, which is all. This is the essence of where we start at. I mean, it's hard to trade if you don't have no brokerage account. And then we progressed on to talking about putting together your watch list. You want to be able to watch it even when you're not buying stuff. You still want to be able to watch the stocks and see what they're doing. You want to create a history, start tracking it, developing it, see how they grow. You want to have a pen and paper. It's hard to track anything if you don't write it down. I mean, in this day and age, I know everybody does it on a computer or a phone or a laptop or whatever they type it in. But you might be surprised what you get from just jotting your ideas down on a pen and paper. Um, I know I'm old school. I'm trying to get hip to the technology, and I've done it. But you know what? I've never lost. I've never lost anything that I've written down on a pen and paper. So we don't stick with that. Um, the pen and paper. Um, we also talked about selecting stocks. Whether it be something that you believe in or something that you use on a regular, something you think is cutting edge. Um, I've told you about some of mine. I mean, I'm a believer in Apple. I'm a believer in Apple. They do a real good job of creating a competitive moat, and they got a ton of cash flow. Altria, I believe in them. Love their dividend. Love the fact I know their price range. They've been around for a long time. Phillip Morris is in that same category. Phillip Morris is an amazing stock. I shouldn't have. I don't want to say I shouldn't have got out because it's been good for me, but I took some profit about a year ago and I reinvested it into some other things, which is what we do in the market. We try and make some money and we try and turn it into more. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody can ever say you did the wrong thing by taking a profit. The only time that you're wrong in this game is when you take a loss, and we don't want to lock losses in unless we feel like it's a downward spiral that we just can't get out of, or if you just don't like the stocks. I mean, I talk about it all the time. If I don't like the stock, I get out in a hurry. I don't mess with it. I'll give it a trial period and start to try and learn about it, because the best way to learn about it is to invest some money in it. But if I invest some money in it and I didn't like it in the first place, I probably shouldn't have invested that money. And I don't hesitate to get out. It's I can take that money that I'm not losing, or they're just staying stagnant, and put it into something that I know is going to grow for me. And I want your money to grow for you. If your money is growing for you, then you're off to a pretty good start. You're off to a pretty good start. Um, you have to formulate a plan, whether it just be I'm gonna take so much money and I'm gonna invest it in the market, bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, whatever it is you're gonna do. You got to come up a plan for investing. Once you have your plan for investing, you might want to have your 3 or 4 stocks that you feel are going to get it done for you. Apple and Microsoft been around for a long time. They're not going nowhere. They're a little expensive now, but it'll never hurt you to be in their business. It's been a pullback lately, and the tech and the NASDAQ and all of that. But those are 2 companies that find a way to bounce back no matter what. So you don't want to run for them. You definitely, just like anything, you want to get good price points, but you can't run from the good companies. It's just solid. It's just solid. If you don't know what you're doing, or you're trying to figure out what you're doing, something you can do is just line your portfolio up with the best quality index funds. Um, there's a Berkshire fund B. It's hard to get in the A unless you got a lot of money, but there's a Berkshire B that you can get into. They do a real good job managing their portfolio. Quite a few Vanguards. Might be a good time to get into the art. They're having a little trouble right now because the stuff that they invested in is pulling back, but they ain't got to the top by not being quality. So you have to figure out which direction you want to go. They got these REITs. Simon Property Group is another one. There's a lot of them out there. I'm not recommending stocks or anything like that. I'm just telling you, this is good, solid corporate companies to get into, and you want to look at those. So you want to start figuring out which direction you want to go with your portfolio. Do you want it to be internet based? Do you want it to be technology based? Do you want it to be AI based? Do you want it to be industrial, natural gas, commodities? You have to figure out which direction you're going. Once you figure that out, a lot of the game is solved, because if you're going with stuff you believe in, you're going to invest in it. I like to include relationships sometimes. I done been in relationships from time to time where I ain't had no bread or whatever, but I never have no problem taking a little money and investing in it, because you invest in something good, it's gonna come back to you good. And these companies work the same way. If you feel good about them, invest in them and roll with them. The return will come back to you. It's just like anything else. You put it in, you give it out of what you put into it. As long as you're putting it into the right thing. You can put a whole lot into the wrong thing, and it end up all bad. And you don't want that in this market. If you I got a buddy. He definitely want to be rich, and he talks to me about these penny stocks all the time, and I just can't give him an answer. I mean, you might get lucky from time to time and make some bread. I don't have the penny stock answer to getting rich. It may be out there, but I don't have it, and I'm not gonna pretend like it. I don't have any strategy to get rich, but what I do know is if you invest in this market properly, you can get money coming in. You'll have another stream of income, maybe one you didn't have before. A chance to increase your bread. If you have good price points, you can swing trade and make money that way. But you have to learn. I mean, there's a lot of stocks out there that are cyclical. They'll go up, come back down, and go up, come back down. And then there's some stocks that are going to go up and they may never come back down. We're talking about just getting a feel for the market and how to make it work. But I mean, the reality is you have to look at some other things too. You have to look at, well, is it the temperature of the market? Is it the government throwing money at the market? Is it the stimulus that's working on the community? What's driving this market? You have to look into it and make sure whatever you're investing in isn't an artificial success. And if it's an artificial success, then you got to make sure that it's short term and that you know when to get in and when to get out. And like I know, don't nobody know when to get in and get out. It's that's a hard one to figure out, when to get in, when to get out. But if you get in while you're up, or you get in while the market's down and you get out while you're up, them two good places. So take your time with that. Man, there's so much we can talk about. I don't want to run through it all, but there's so much we can talk about. Being consistent and steady in what you're investing in. I hate to be rude, but it's what you call it. They probably talking about a little golf. I ain't played in a while, and I definitely want to get out there and do that. So, they done snuck out today. Sorry, some of the guns, and that's okay. I ain't even gonna trip, but because I could have played today. Today I could have played. Anyway, we're just talking about putting your portfolio together. You have to have a solid game plan. You have to stick to your game plan. You got to find some kind of mathematic rhythm to what you're doing. I'm not gonna say you can't get lucky just feeling good about a company, because I mean, Lord knows, I'm sure it's gonna happen time and time again. People, I mean, somebody felt good about Bitcoin and it worked out for them, and somebody felt good about Doge and it worked out for them. But we want to be more concrete than that. If you happen to luck up and get one of them, hey, more power to you. Some people felt good about GameStop, but I guarantee you the people that made money on it knew a little history about the GameStop, or they've been in GameStop forever, and they just happen to be the byproduct of a tailwind that made them a lot of money. So uh, sometimes you luck up into some stuff, and when you luck up into some successes, don't be afraid to reap the benefits, and don't be afraid to cash out, because luck is still just luck. We gotta understand that. There's some things you can control, but when you lucky, know that you're lucky. Don't think, oh, I had the magic stick, because a lot of people thought they had the magic stick, and it didn't quite work out for them. Hell, I think back to not Brewster's Mill, the Eddie Murphy trading places, and they thought they had it all sold up, and they were betting on the commodity market with the insider trading. Don't think you're above being a victim of some insider trading. I mean, it's out there. I mean, it's and yeah, is it a crime, or is it frowned upon, or any of those things? Yeah, but don't think you're exempt from it. You can get caught up in it just like anybody else. And while we're talking about that, a lot of times people are like, oh, I heard this on the street and this and that. Stop taking advice from people on the street that don't know nothing about the stocks. Do your homework. Know what you want to get into. You know, uh, if you got a buddy, a friend, somebody that works in the market or whatever in a particular company, talk to them about what they company do. You don't have to be getting all into their books or whatever, but if they willing to give you that, that's another thing too. But talk to them, and if you like what their company's doing, you like the things that sound, and you learn a bit about how it's going. Shoot, sometimes that's a great thing to take a chance on. I've invested in companies where I've known people that have had positions in the company, and they just talk about the things they're doing, and the changes they're making or whatever. Not so much, in the finances, just what they're doing with the company. You can learn a lot about what they do, and how long the company's been around, how a person's been able to grow within that company, and that has nothing to do with insider trading. It's just you being observant, because everybody's trying to figure out something to get an edge. You have to find you an edge in this market. So don't be afraid of that. What else we got? It's been said, when you get involved in the game late, don't chase the money. You don't want to chase the money, because it'll definitely catch up and bite you in the butt. But it's nothing with going hard. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, I went hard early on, and it was really good for me. I took a little break, and now I'm going harder than ever, because it's like I got a pension coming in one of these days. That's gonna be all right. But you know what? $3 here, $4 there, it ain't gonna make or break me. So I make a habit of, if I got some extra change laying around, I'm gonna put it into my account, and I'm gonna try and flip it into some company that's gonna be a little bit better for me. So don't be afraid of it. Don't run from it. You know, Other things, just recapping a little bit. No rush tonight. Just sitting back. I'm about to watch a movie in a second. Turn my air conditioner up, because I don't plan on going nowhere tonight, and it's all well and good. But how do you get into a position where you can invest more money? Sometimes you gotta look at yourself and say, am I living above my means? You don't need every subscription out there. You don't need every channel of cable. You don't need I guess in this day and age you do need the internet a little bit. You don't need to eat out 4 times a week. You don't need to be in the club buying out the bottles. If you're a bottle buyer, if you still clubbing, because people do that. I'm not saying I've done it. It's fun. If you like buying bottles, that's fine. Get you a group of people, and y'all go in on the bottle. Even if you just bought drinks at a club all night long, you're probably gonna spend somewhere between $80 and $120 anyway. Some probably say, you spend what? Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want to, but you're probably going to spend that. So, I mean, if you're going to spend 100 to 80 to $120 anyway, get your little group together. Y'all can put it on a bottle. Y'all can drink all night and probably come out better, And some of the clubs is going to hit you upside the head. But, that's one way. That's one way you can get over if you still like having a good time getting out there like that. You know, I guess this one's for the fellas and probably for the ladies too. But my pops told me one thing, and I've always tried to at least heed it, even if I don't live by it all the time. I try to heed it. He said one thing to me. Say, you can have a bunch of women, or you can have a bunch of money, but you can't have both. So you have to figure it out. Now, there's a lot of men out there figure, oh, you know what? I can't have a bunch of women and a bunch of money, but they usually separate it from their money, whether it be because they spending it or whether because they take it. So it's tough. It's one to live by. Either you got a bunch of women or you got a bunch of money. If you got a bunch of men, or you can have a bunch of money. You cannot have both. And it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. But moving on from that, some things we do, again, cutting your cable costs, um, making your house energy efficient, you know, telling your rides to the places you need to go, credit card debt is a killer. It's a killer. It's a killer. It's a killer. High interest debt that you have to pay back is a killer. And credit card is the worst because sometimes you don't even realize you're spending it. So, I mean, if you can cut that off, I mean, man, it's amazing how your spending power will increase. For a huge part of my life, I was a gambler, and I win from time to time, but I'm sure I lost a whole lot more money than I won. And you got to find a way to cut that casino off. You got to cut it off. It ain't nothing wrong with having a good time, but I hate to tell you, when you're at the casino, no matter how much fun you're having, once that last dollar's gone or whatever, or you down to that last five and you're trying to hold on to it like it's gonna make the night better, man, you're gonna have that sick feeling in your stomach, looking crazy all the way on the way home, hoping somebody call you up with some good news. But I hate to tell you, once the casino get it, they ain't getting it back. So, you know, uh, you know, cut down the gambling, um, cut down the excessive spending. You don't have to have everything everybody else has. Oh man, a tough one for all of us, man, because we love our people. We get in good positions from time to time. We want to see our people do well. Sometimes you have to learn to say no or have a tough conversation because people ask you, "Do you have money?" Like you got it, and having it don't necessarily mean you have it. I mean, just because you have it on Friday, don't mean you're not gonna need it on Tuesday. And if somebody say they're gonna you gonna lend it to them on a Thursday and you don't get it back on a Tuesday, and then they don't give it back. Now you in a bind and you in the same boat they in. So they haven't given you your money back because they don't have the means to give it to you back, and they didn't. They were just worried about their well being at that particular time. Now you in the same boat. You got to ask somebody, or you got to go into your savings, or you got to figure it out. So we got to have these tough conversations with our friends, family members, girlfriends. It's one thing to have a girl that make you happy, but when they got bad habits, ooh, if they got bad habits, you got to learn to say no to them. Be like, I'm not gonna be buying no Birkin bags. Uh, I drink Hennessy. I'm not gonna be buying no Hennessy privilege unless that's what I like. You know, you got to have them tough conversations. Like, baby, what you buy? I'm treating all the time. I mean, and it's okay. I mean, I got that bad. If I go somewhere, I'm looking out for my woman, and every now and again they return the favor, and that's all well and good. But if I take a woman out, I'm looking out for her. But you know what? That can get costly too. So you got to be aware of what you're doing with your money. And if you're having trouble with that, just start a journal. And what I would start the journal is just write a list of the expenses that you have. And with these expenses that you have, just start to chart them and total them out. Then once you have that totaled out and you know what your expenses are that are going to be leaving your money in your pocket every month, then figure out what do you bring in? What kind of income do you have coming in? Whether it's just one stream of income or whether it's several streams. How much income do you have coming in, and you know it's coming in on the regular? And then you need to find out what that difference is. Once you figure out what that difference is, that'll allow you to know what you can invest in yourself, what you can do to get your life on a better track, how you can make changes in your life. And then once you figure that out, you look at, okay, this is what I've been spending money on here, and write it down. You don't even have to write it down nowadays. A lot of times you can just pull up your bank account, and they have something to tell you what your spending patterns are. And then you say, okay, all right, my spending might not be exceeding my income, but it's pretty close, which makes you living check to check at that point. You got to learn how to reel it in and make it to where some of that money becomes your money, and pick an amount of that money to invest in yourself. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing you're gonna get rich in this market, but you'll be better off if you take some of that money and invest in yourself, whether it's saving it or investing. I invest mine. You can save it or invest it. I don't care what it is, but make sure you have something that's working for you and not just take care of everybody else. And it's like you look back on when you get older, you can talk about it and feel all right about it because you finally figured out a way to get out of it or whatever it is, or you done got your life together. But man, to live your life and be paying $2,500 in car costs or something like that, that's absurd. It's absurd. You don't even pay that for your house. You don't pay that for every expense in your house and your house. Why would you pay that kind of money for a car? You don't even spend that much time in the car. It's okay to have one good car to make sure you get in there and it's consistent and it's reliable and that type of stuff. But don't nobody need a Lexus and a BMW sports coupe at the same time. Let's be smart about it. I mean, do you even need? I mean, you got to look at what kind of money you bring. If you don't have BMW money, maybe you need to be in an Altima. So, I'm not chastising nobody. I'm just what they say. Speaking facts and keeping it real. That's all we're doing tonight. Speaking facts, keeping it real. Other ways you can save money. You don't go out so much. That's a lot of. I mean, cooking at home can be expensive too. It can when you go out and get the food. But if you learn how to shop correctly, make a shopping list, get the things you went in to get, you'd be surprised how much money you can save. You don't have to have every entertainment venue going on. You don't have to do everything that's going on. Hell, how many times you've been out and be like, oh, we're going to go have a good time, and you too tired to have a damn good time? Well, that could have been some money you saved. Now, there's probably been even more times where you went out and be like, oh, it's a great time, but it was an expensive time. So you got to keep it all in perspective. You definitely got to keep it all in perspective. Know where you're at. Know what your spending patterns is. Know where you want to go with your life. Are you building wealth for yourself? Do you want immediate income? Is it something you're projecting for later in your life? Is it something you're trying to build generational wealth? You got to identify that too. I mean, if you want to give your kids something, that's all well and good. I mean, if my kids get it, it's probably gonna be because I died and their name was on some papers and they got it. But I'm not doing this right now so that they can just sit there and wait for me to die or find out I got a little bit of money and knock me off, because that's not what it's about. It's about just being in a better place in your life, and money is good and all of that, but it's not going to make you happy. You still got to find happiness, whatever it is. I've had a lot of money and been depressed as hell, and I've had $3 in my pocket and been as happy as can be. So, and vice versa. I mean, the money don't equate one way or the other. That's what I'm telling you. The happiness is going to be in you and doing what you enjoy doing. Now, for what money will do, what financial freedom will do is it'll give you time and allow you to do the things you want to do. Giving back. I think everybody wants to give back in some sense, but make sure it's warranted. Make sure it's something that you believe in, something you're gonna feel good about. You do that, I mean, it might even be the drive to push you over the hump to do even better. So, keep working, keep thinking about the focus on those things. I ain't gonna hit every topic, but I'm gonna roll with it. Other reasons you might want to invest, the biggest one is just to be in a better financial place. Because the better you are off financially, the more financial freedom that you will have. So um, I love doing these, man, and it's fun, and I hope the people learning from it, invest in themselves on a regular, taking care of their health. I guess that'd be the last one. Is I'm not gonna go on all night, but that's a good place to finish. 'Cause if you take care of your health, that gives you a lot more time to accumulate your wealth. If you're not gonna live up to 30, you're under pressure, but pressure cooker to make that money. But if you take care of yourself, uh, what they say, the modern advances in science and the better incomes, it's not unreasonable to think you can live to be 90, 110. So take care of your health. Find a way to invest in your wealth. If we're gonna invest in our health, and if we're not, we need to start doing it. So invest in your health, invest in your wealth. Uh, I'm gonna go watch a movie right now. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't planning on being here 25 minutes. I was just doing a test run, but I like talking about the stuff, and hopefully you guys benefit from it. So anyway, man, I'm about to get out of here. I love y'all. Have a beautiful day. Y'all be easy. Peace.